It is critically important that every charter school adopts an enrollment framework that aligns with the mission and vision of its charter in order to ensure that students with diverse learning needs are given equal opportunity to access a high-quality education. The following 3 parent vignettes were adapted from the ACLU of Arizona's Schools Choosing Students 2017 report. I was thrilled when I got a call from Charter Academy School notifying me that my sons had been selected from the lottery and were now invited to enroll. I immediately withdrew them from the charter school they were attending and began the enrollment process. I dropped off my sons' IEPs, which detailed their special education needs and the services the school was required to provide. When I got home, there was a message on my answering machine. The school was calling to let me know I couldn't enroll my sons because the school no longer had room for students with special education needs. I felt the school discriminated against my sons because of their special education needs, so I filed a complaint with the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights. As a parent of students with disabilities, I felt I had a duty to speak up for my children. I wanted my daughter to get the best education possible, so I enrolled her at JR Charter School. My daughter started at JR School as a 4th grader. Within a few months, I noticed that she was struggling with math. She had a 504 plan, which outlines how the school will address her individual needs. Under the plan, my daughter's teacher was supposed to give her extra time and assistance with her math assignments. By mid-year, she was failing math. I talked to the school about developing an IEP, and a meeting was set for March. During the meeting, we came up with a plan to meet my daughter's needs. The school brought an attorney to the meeting, which I found to be intimidating. We decided that a special education teacher would help her with math. However, the school never informed me that I needed to sign a consent form so that my daughter could begin receiving these services. It wasn't until 2 months later, on the last day of instruction, that the school finally informed me about the consent form. By then, it was too late into the school year for my daughter to begin getting her IEP services. I filed a complaint with the State Department of Education. The complaint investigator concluded that although the school tried to get me to sign the consent form on multiple occasions, the school failed to fully inform me of the activity for which the consent was being sought. School staff members approached me several times, but they were never clear about why they needed my signature. As a result, my daughter missed out on over 800 minutes of math instruction. When my family and I first moved here in 2008, I enrolled my son at a district school. He was doing well there, making the honor roll for earning good grades. After hearing that charter schools were much better than district schools, I decided to enroll him at SPL Charter School. He started out as a 5th grader in August. In 7th grade, the school vice principal told me she was concerned about my son's low grades and said the school might not be a good fit for my son. But I ignored her suggestion to look for another school. My son continued on to 8th grade, but his grades didn't improve much. I was again called in for a meeting with the vice principal. Although this was a new vice principal, he told me the same thing as the previous one, that the school wasn't the right school for my son. Hearing the same message from 2 different vice principals made it clear that my son wasn't welcome there, so I looked for a new charter school. I found another charter school. This school required a meeting with my husband and me to complete the enrollment process. During the meeting, a school staff member reviewed our son's transcripts. After seeing he had 2 Fs and several missing assignments, we were told the school wasn't a good fit for him. They were essentially refusing to enroll him because of his low grades. I was shocked that they weren't willing to give him a chance. They were turning him away because, in their eyes, he wasn't good enough for that school. We got up and walked away. This whole experience tainted my view of charter schools. I used to think charter schools accepted all students, regardless of their academic background, and provided them an exceptional education. Now I see them as schools that pick and choose which students they want in their classrooms. Although these are 3 extreme examples, they serve as a reminder of how important it is that charter schools are equitable, consistent, and unbiased in their enrollment policies and practices.